With the Volkswagen Golf 7 now on the market, Golf 6 is a little bit of old news, but it still has some things going for it. Golf 6 is available in the powerful R version and is the magnificent GTi 35. It also has the conundrum car, the performance drop-top. This is the GTi Cabriolet, a car that says I like to drive fast and not be able to talk to my passengers at the same time because of wind noise. Well, maybe that's a little harsh, but I still don't see the point of having a performance car compromised by a folding roof. Chop off the roof, the chassis becomes less rigid, and that's not a good thing for those who enjoy an involving drive. It doesn't take too long to feel how a car is affected by a lack of a fixed roof structure. Cabriolets generally suffer from a thing called scuttle shake, which is noises and vibrations coming through the chassis because there is no roof. And ordinarily you notice it when the roof is down, but in this car the opposite is true because there is something very rattly and very irritating right above my head. Not a very promising start. Given its near top-of-the-pile status, the rest of the GTi cab's interior isn't that impressive either. It's all very dark, with the occasional satin chrome bit of trim doing its best to add some interest in the vast black expanses. There is the flat-bottom steering wheel with its red stitching, the embossed seats and the red highlights on the dials, but besides those elements this could just about be any well-spec'd Golf, although the heated seats, Bluetooth, dual-zone climate control and cruise control are all part of the cab's R398,000 price. Rear seats are predictably tiny, but boot space is surprisingly good. Because it's a fabric roof, it doesn't need too much space once it's folded away, and the space it occupies is above rather than inside the boot. So, there are lots of reasons to drop the top. First of all, you get rid of that irritating rattle. Then, it doesn't encroach on boot space. Third, of course, it's designed to be folded away, and you can do that up to 30 kilometers an hour. And lastly, it just looks so much better. There is one thing that makes the attitude of this particular GTi a bit more prominent than the hardtop versions. It rides on the same 18-inch wheels and on the same lowered suspension as the others. It has the same front-end treatment, but with a more steeply raked windscreen, this particular GTi really starts to look the part with the roof down. There are only very few and very illegal places in the city where you can figure out what this car is about, but if looking good isn't your priority, you'll be glad to know that the GTi Cabriolet still feels good and is easy to use when you're driving it normally and aren't treating it like a GTi. Even that scuttle shake doesn't seem to be a problem. Many structural reinforcements have helped avoid that particular problem, and although it's not deleted entirely, it's barely perceptible. Stronger windscreen frame, rear bulkhead, doors and other bits means the Cabriolet still feels solid, although it also means it's 90 kilograms heavier than the hardtop, which makes for a 0 to 100 time that's 0.4 seconds slower and a slightly lower top speed. There is something a little bit strange though. I've driven the regular GTi and the GTi 35 and they are mechanically identical to this car. In terms of suspension, they've got the same setup, front and rear. They've got the same XDS electronic diff. But somehow I don't remember the front end of those other cars being as slippery as this car. It still corners really well and it's got great grip. I just find myself cornering with that little bit less confidence. It's not enough to make me believe that the cab is any less capable than any other GTi. In fact, because everything is a little louder with the top down, you feel a little closer to the action. Say what you like about convertibles, but when it comes to the GTi, don't mistake soft top for soft core. It's still got 155 kilowatts. It'll still get from 0 to 100 in 7.3 seconds. And even though your only gearbox choice is the DSG, that doesn't matter because it's got a manual mode and paddles, and the whole setup is responsive and entertaining. Yep, if you're looking for a soft top that prefers posing to performance, then you better look somewhere else. And for that, I am very thankful. It's easy to write off this soft top as a compromise or Volkswagen's attempt to get more money by simply adding another model to its lineup without any concern for what the GTi badge means, but credit to them, they've done their work and made sure this version is as enjoyable as the others. So it is a GTi, just of a different flavour, and whatever your preconceived ideas, this is a soft top that delivers. But there is one problem. It is still a previous generation car, and even though the GTi Golf 7 Cabriolet is still a while away, you could opt for the more powerful and more advanced GTi hardtop for around the same money as this car. With the same 155 kilowatt motor and the same 6-speed DSG gearbox, the Cabriolet delivers as much power and enjoyment as other GTIs. This version's soft top doesn't make it less capable and brings you a little closer to the action, but it is essentially the old GTI, and the latest generation doesn't cost much more.